you guys are all here tonight. Welcome to our debate. Super excited about tonight's debate and tomorrow night's debate. This is a Pahrump News and Nye County News first debate. I've done debates throughout the years for many years, and I'm excited tonight to once again have an all-party debate, because we've been doing them for different parties. But I was reminded tonight that we've done Justice of the Peace before, and we've done some other judges before, and I completely forgot that we had done that in the past, and I'm super excited that we are including all the parties once again. We do have our lovely Karen Jackson here from K9 Radio. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Thanks so much for doing that. And of course, Ski Sensky, doing all that he does with our sound and everything that he does. Volunteers like this and everything that Ski's done throughout the years matters so much, because a lot of people that do things like this volunteer with nothing recognized, nothing in return, matters so much. And Karen's done that throughout the years, and Alicia Lewis over here has done that throughout the years, and Candace Lieber, thanks so much for doing that. And Ann Harris in the Senior Center. You know, it was so easy to work with the Senior Center and be able to get a venue like this and just call her up. So thank you so much for everything that the Senior Center has done throughout the years. I can't even tell you how easy it is to work with them. So thanks so much to the Senior Center. The candidates have been asked tonight if they would like to donate $50 to the Senior Center for doing this tonight. And so if you're a candidate, please donate if you can. And I want to thank the Pahrump and Baby Subway for donating all the sandwiches tonight and tomorrow night. Thank you so much. And Assemblyman Greg Hafen for donating the drinks, and Candace for bringing the ice and volunteering. Thanks so much, guys. So tonight is streamed on our Pahrump News Facebook page, and you can find out more on Pahrump News and Nye County News. If you guys don't know, I've opened my own businesses, Pahrump News and Nye County News. I opened those last year. It's been a year and 1 day. So I'm super excited. I do news on their hard news on Pahrump News and Nye County News. Of course, you know I own the Nye County Scanner Traffic. I opened that 5 years ago with the help of George Cox, who just recently passed away. And George would help me when Eddie and myself were busy and we weren't able to be reached, and he would handle some of the calls and post some of the calls there. And so George will be missed greatly, definitely. And he's helped me with a lot of pages because he did a lot of web design. So he was a dear friend of ours. And so we definitely dedicate this debate to George Cox. He was a wonderful guy. So we want to definitely recognize him. And if anybody wants any news, any breaking news, we share it on the scanner page. We post it on the Pahrump News page. And we do community news through Valley Electric, and I want to thank Valley Electric for everything that they've done. We do community news through them. They helped out with so much things today, including the camera equipment that I'm using here today and the microphones, and they do so much in the community. So thanks so much to Valley Electric, because I do community news through them and they donate so much. So we are doing a traditional debate style. The candidates are opening with a 2-minute time limit about themselves. When we ask the questions, they will be 2 minutes. They will have a rebuttal time of 1 minute, and then rebuttal of 1 minute, and then 30 seconds for a follow-up on the questions. There can be questions from the audience, and those are written on the orange pieces of paper. You can get them from Alicia and Candace, and just write down what the question is. And for the candidate, we will not be reading questions that are attacking or abusive or kind of inappropriate questions, because we've got those in the past. So just so you guys know. All right, Ski is going to hold up the flag for a 30-second thing. Ski doesn't put up with any stuff, so I'll be leaving it up to him to do that, and me and Karen will behave over here. Well, I'll behave. You know Karen.
I'm gonna try.
She's gonna try, she says. I'm just gonna pipe down. All right, so we're gonna get started. We have the candidates. They're gonna introduce themselves for 2 minutes. And just so you guys know, both of these microphones are live, so if you guys are whispering anything, they're gonna pick you up.
That hot mic. Be careful.
All right. And then are we gonna start with a coin toss, or are you gonna pick?
No, Michelle start. Ladies first.
That was easy.
That was easy.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. So, I
Yeah,
can't really
they'll
see
get
you,
a 30
Steve.
second warning.
They get a 15-second one?
Yeah.
Do you want a microphone to talk or no?
No,
So-
I got a pretty decent voice.
We can hear you in the back.
They're all gonna get a 15-second warning.
Are you going to say when to begin?
What's that?
Are you going to say when to begin?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Are you going to say when to begin?
No, you just whenever you start, I'll push the button.
Okay,
Like's easy.
all right. That works. So good evening. My name is Michelle Fiore. I am your judge. I am your justice of the peace. I've been on the bench. I was appointed December 20th of 2022. So I've been sitting on the bench now for 15 or 16 months, and it's been an honor and a privilege. And it's an amazing opportunity to help our community in so many different ways. A little bit personally about me. I'm a mother of 2 grown, beautiful girls who have blessed me with 7 grandchildren, which are generally here every weekend. I have been a servant, a public servant for you for 12 years. From an assemblywoman who has written over 119 bills that have been signed by Governor Sandoval and enacted, which we practice in my courtroom daily, to the Republican National Committee woman for the 4 years, but with this position, because of the appearance of impartiality, I had to resign in that position. I was a councilwoman and mayor pro tem of the largest city here in Nevada. I've been coming to Pahrump for over 20 years over at Front Site, where I have all my certificates and handguns, shotguns, rifles, and edge weapons. So Pahrump's been my playground for a really long time. I love it here. I love being a public servant and a businesswoman. I must also give a shout out to the public defenders and the DA's office that I work here. I have sat on the benches in Clark, I've been in federal court, and I've watched prosecutors out of other counties. And here in Nye County, I can tell you, our DA's office is extremely fair and just, and our public defenders are some of the smartest I've ever seen in the
15
courtroom.
seconds, ma'am.
Thank you. So with that, I will give it to Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Michelle. My name is Robert E. Thomas III. I am running, obviously, against Michelle. You have a clear choice here because I'm the only one with extensive judicial court experience. I spent 15 years as a JAG in the Marine Corps, 24 years as a DA in 2 different DA's office, 11 years as a public defender. I've also tried civil trials. I am admitted to the bar before the United States Supreme Court. Personally, I have 7 living children and 3 living grandchildren. So clearly, if you want someone who has been in different courts, without being a defendant, so to speak, but legitimately as an attorney, I have been on both sides. I know how to be fair. I know how to be judicious. And I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Karen, you're first. Just bend it down. From the top. There. Thank you. You're first. Go.
first. I think the important that that's what it was. Just these ones.
You both are very qualified. I know, Michelle, when you got elected or assigned to be JP, you went and did all of the schooling that you needed. I've followed you through your journey. And one of the questions they want us to ask, but I think we should ask it at the end after we do all of the questions. All right? So we'll just kind of start here in the middle. What is your understanding of the difference between a justice of the peace and a district court judge? That's to you, Michelle.
Thank you so much. So as a justice of the peace, we basically hear everything from open murder to rape, kidnapping, theft, burglary, drugs, DUIs, all the way down to traffic tickets. Now, any gross misdemeanors or felonies, we can do a preliminary hearing where the DA must present their evidence to us. They have to prove their case for the justice of the peace to then bind it up to district. Then once it goes to district, district will do another trial and then sentence. So any felony or gross misdemeanor will either have a preliminary or bind over from justice of the peace. Justice of the peace will adjudicate all misdemeanors, and that is the difference between us justice of the peace. So really, when you think about the justice of the peace, the buck either stops with me or it continues on, right? So I've had category A felonies, which are sex assaults, right? So the buck either stops with me where there's no evidence and the charges are dismissed, or we bind them up and then they face Judge Wonka or Judge Ling.
Robert, it goes to you now. Do you need me to repeat it for you?
Now, you asked about the justice of the peace in the relationship with the district court.
Right.
This court functions the same in many ways as the court that I was a judge in for 13 months in Oregon. It handles minor cases, traffic cases. Having put on many preliminary hearings, I know what probable cause looks like to bind somebody over, and then the file gets dumped on the district court judge's desk. It is a screening position to make sure that only just cases go forward.
Rebuttal.
You have 1 minute.
Thank you. So, your opening was fabulous, Mr. Thomas. However, Pahrump Justice Court is not just a screening, number one. Number two, you don't have your law degree here in Nevada or anywhere in Pahrump. So when we talk about justice of the peace here in Pahrump, we hear cases and we adjudicate cases from misdemeanors, from gross felonies, from gross misdemeanors to felonies, whether they have probable cause or not. So we hear the cases, we look at the evidence, and we choose, as the judge, whether we're sending it up to district.
Mr. Thomas, you have 30 seconds to rebut.
Thank you. I'm sorry that I was misunderstood, because I understand that there are certain cases that sit and stay in justice court, and there are certain cases that are basically screened for sufficient evidence, and if there is sufficient evidence, it's passed on to district court.
Next question. Do you have another question?
All right.
If elected, how will you balance being an independent judge and elected official, Mr. Thomas?
The canons of judicial ethics require that people who sit in a judicial position, such as justice of the peace, act in a way that is impartial, and they don't take sides on political questions. They let the cases come to them. So what was the other part you asked, Deanna, please?
If elected, how will you balance being an independent judge and an elected official? To more explain it, some decisions being made behind the bench are not popular. We have witnessed elected officials' campaigns influence their decision making. How will you ensure that this will not happen to you?
Since I've been a defense attorney and a prosecutor, I know what evidence and what an impartial appearance needs to be. And having been a judge, I have experienced that for 13 months.
Michelle?
Thank you. Would you repeat the question so I could repeat it back?
If elected, how will you balance being an independent judge and an elected official?
Thank you so much. Well, as an elected official for the past 12 years, this is my first appointment, and being a judge, the judicial canons are a must. It's not a may. So there is definitely the appearance of impartiality that must go on. As an elected previously, which when you get a lot of questions that are not impartial, you generally would answer. As a judge, because of the appearance of impartiality is number one, we cannot respond, endorse, or answer when there is a partial political question. So as an elected and as the judge, I do have these dual roles and I handle them well. Thank you.
Mr. Thomas, do you have a rebuttal?
Even though this position is an elected position, it is not the normal election where you can attack your opponent and take political positions. You must remain impartial, and that is what I have done and will do.
Do you have a rebuttal? All right, we're going to move on.
We'll start with Michelle. What is your position of the public carrying guns in the courtroom?
So that's a great question. And I'm going to answer it with who owns the building, right? Because generally who owns the building makes the rules. So when we look at district court versus justice court was built after the district court with bonds by justice. So the justice court, and I again don't want to go against our 5 county commissioners, but that building that we're practicing in, I believe, is owned by Nye County. So if Nye County says you're allowed to have guns in the courthouse, then you're allowed to have guns in the courthouse. That's on our justice side. If district has an issue with having guns in the courthouse, I respect those judges and their courtrooms. As far as me, you know, I've been known as the 2A girl for over a decade. So I think firearms are a safety issue, especially when we look at what's been going on in our courtrooms for self-defense. Unfortunately, I don't think everyone is as trained as I am on the bench with a firearm, so I would leave it up to the individual. I don't want to ever challenge someone to come into my courtroom with a firearm because I am a great shot and I will feel bad for them if I have to shoot them back. But what I will tell you is, again, who owns the building, who makes the rules, and how are the judges comfortable with it?
We do want to distinguish that we're saying courtroom, not courthouse, because there is 2 questions. One is courthouse, one is courtrooms. The county commissioners did say that they don't have jurisdiction over the courtrooms, just to clarify that. The county commissioners did say that the judges make their own rules inside their courtrooms, but that they made a decision on the actual Ian Deutsch government complex itself. So just to clarify that there is a difference there.
Okay. So I welcome firearms in my courtroom.
Mr. Thomas?
This question really gives me a lot of internal conflict. I have been a deputy DA in Orange County. When there was a shooting in a courtroom, it was very messy. I've been a DA or a public defender in Oregon, and there was a shooting in a courtroom. And then that also occurred in Northern California. As a result, although I am a very strong Second Amendment advocate, I do not believe that in light of the way tempers flare in litigation, that anyone should come into a courtroom that is armed except the bailiff.
Did you ask him about the courthouse?
That was about the courtroom. Now, let's come back to you. How do you feel about the guns being allowed in the courthouse? Not your individual courtroom.
That is something for the county commissioners, but clearly I don't think litigants should be armed in the courtroom or the courthouse because they often act irrationally if they lose or think they're going to lose.
Michelle?
So I think my rebuttal to you would be it's not just litigants. We just had an attorney shoot his former son-in-law in the head 4 times. So I think it goes to everyone. And I think that with the courthouse, again, like if it's a federal courthouse, there are 0 guns. So there are rules, there are laws, federally, state, and local, that we must obey and abide. So I can answer for my courtroom. As far as the courthouse, if my district judges are uncomfortable with it, then I will respect those wishes.
Do you have a rebuttal? All right. So the next question.
All right, Mr. Thomas. If in fact it is a Second Amendment right, can you explain why there is no challenge to the statute of carrying guns at school?
Again, too often schools are marked gun-free zones. That is really open season on students. I do not believe that our nation can afford to assassinate the next generation. As a result, I believe that there should be armed police at school, and if someone has a firearm, they can leave it in their car or leave it home.
Thank you. So Nevada state law, Mr. Thomas, states that no firearms will be on campus, in cars, or anything else like that. However, I will tell you that as a former assemblywoman, I was the assemblywoman who carried campus carry, because the only people getting shot on campuses are people unarmed that generally have a concealed weapons, that if they did have their weapon on them, they could shoot back. So sitting ducks, basically not allowing law-abiding citizens with concealed carry for their own self-defense has been created agita for me for many, many years. And what I will tell you is my record speaks for itself. I fought for campus carry 2 sessions. They both have failed. And because we have these laws in place, we cannot break them. But I do not feel that it is fair. If you look at all the media, if you look at all the shootings, if you look at all the mass shootings, it's the bad guys shooting the good guys who we've been unarmed.
Yes. The Nevada statutes say that firearms are not allowed. As a justice of the peace, I will comply with that law, however ill-advised it is. But again, I don't want our schools to be target-rich environments, and that's what no firearms on campus creates.
Okay.
Excuse me, before the next question, can we not do that switch so quick? So you ask the question, then you address it to the next person, because that one overrode each other. So we keep it clear that the question is here for 2 minutes, That one is kind of.
Did you get that?
Yeah, stop yelling at us.
Well, you said he doesn't take any uniform.
I know.
Just keep up with this.
Okay,
We're volunteers too.
that's right.
Okay, continue.
All right, let's start with Mr. Thomas. Do you consider yourself a politician?
No, I don't. The only thing I regard myself as is a patriot, as a constitutionalist. That takes my heart and soul. A politician will say anything to get elected, and that is not right. So rather than be a politician, I would like to be either a private citizen or a judicial officer, one or the other, and come June, you as the voters will make that decision.
No.
Are you okay?
Thank you.
Do you need anything?
I'm checking with him before
I
I
know.
leave. Michelle,
Yes.
do you consider yourself a politician?
So I'm an elected official. So if you know, and I can say, oh, I don't consider myself a politician, but the bottom line is I've been an elected official for the past decade. So, and an elected official for the past decade that has fought for Nevadans, that has fought for every county, including Nye, that has fought for our local government, that doesn't want to leave Nye County, or doesn't want to secede from the union of Nye County and take us out of Nye County and become the new Nevada. So as an elected official and as your judge, I love Nye County, I love Pahrump, I've served it for over 10 years, 12 to be exact, and I'd like to stay here, unlike my opponent, who wants to secede from the union Nye County and become its own republic, its own little star on the flag, and be called New Nevada, like New Mexico, okay? So, no, I am an elected official, and I am your judge.
Well, that shows Ms. Fiore's lack of reading of Article 4, Section 3 of the United States Constitution, which allows the creation of a state, not a independent state, but a state from an existing state. I am not the head of New Nevada anymore, but New Nevada was to give you your voice back by creating New Nevada and cutting out Clark County.
Thank you. So as I said, I am your judge here in Pahrump. I love Pahrump, I love Nye County, and I wanted to stay in Nevada, unlike my opponent, who maybe should run for justice of the peace in New Nevada.
Is there a response to that?
I was the last rebuttal. No response.
All right. You are sitting JP. How do you handle conflicts of interest while you're on the bench?
I just wanted to say something too, Thomas.
Can you do it as sassy? I mean, if you can, I'll listen to it.
Okay, but go.
I'm sorry, Deanna had a question, however, she interrupted yours, so can I have the question again?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
How have you handled conflict of interest while you've been on the bench?
So thank goodness, that's why I'm here. So all of the folks that come before me, it's all new. So there's been zero conflict of interest. When I look at the conflict of interest with our PDs or our DAs, like for instance, a prosecutor once upon a time was a DA and she represented one of the defendants. We basically just changed the attorney, so there's no conflicts of interest. As far as me being the judge with a conflict of interest, thus so far, in the 16 months that I've been serving, there's been zero conflicts of interest with me.
Mr. Thomas?
I don't have any conflicts of interest. I'm just a patriot running for the office. However, I have seen attorneys who have conflicts, and the wise judges clamp down on that and change attorneys fairly quickly. I don't have any activity that's going to create a conflict, and if it does, I understand the judicial canons, and I will conflict myself off that case.
Thank you for calling me wise.
Any other? You good?
We're good.
We just asked them this, are you not keeping up with us?
I'm scared of
Do you
it.
want to take a nap?
I know I'm working our programs today.
All right, Mr. Thomas. Do you see do you
Are you
want
just
to
gonna
have
make it up
any
as you go?
changes to the justice system in Nye County?
Not at this time. I've only seen it from the outside, and I've got some questions, but not having seen it from the inside, I have no opinions at this point.
Michelle?
Oh, I have so many opinions. So here's what I'm going to tell you. As the Justice of the Peace, as your judge, thank goodness I work well with our DA and our PDs, because we need to change many things. Here in Pahrump, we don't have mental health court or a veterans court. We have a lot of veterans and we have a lot of mental health individuals. So what the DA and I have been working on, and we'll be talking about it on your radio, is when we do have a veteran or someone that needs more help, whether it's financial or getting counseling done, we will say adjudication, which in layman's terms is we will put the conviction off. We'll have them plea, we'll put the conviction off, we'll have them go through counseling, and we will work. So essentially, even though Pahrump doesn't have a veterans court, our DA, Mr. Brian Coonsey, and myself are working on our own veterans court, mentally ill court, and we have been working on that together with no funding, I might add. And then, as well as some of our public defenders are working with Nevada Coalition and Save No to Abuse, these great folks that come in and out of the courtroom daily to make sure that we find programs for people that, let's say, have to do domestic violence classes, and it's $900. And if they don't have the funds, we try to make that happen.
Historically, Veterans Court, Domestic Violence Court, and the courts of that type are district court level. They're not administered at the JP level.
Rebuttal, that's so incorrect. I am the JP, and we do have veterans that commit misdemeanors, gross misdemeanors, and felonies. So how are we going to help them in justice court? So, like I said, I've been in this seat for 15 months. I'm here for our community members, and to make sure that they are treated fairly, because I consider myself to be the fairest of them all on the bench.
Is that going to be a new advertisement?
I think it's good. I think it's good.
Do you have a rebuttal?
The issue is, if you need to be effective, it's going to take more clout than the Justice of the Peace has. And so I'll be very interested in seeing what Ms. Fiore and Mr. Coonsey cook up.
Okay, you got it, okay. All right, she's going to...
So we're cooking it up, Mr. Thomas. It's already on the grill. When we have a veteran and we need 6 months to make sure he gets counseling, we're handling it now.
All right, are you good?
Yeah. no,
I'm checking it.
I know, I'm checking.
We're good.
Check.
Okay, Mr. Thomas, we'll start with you this time. Can you explain your judicial philosophy? How you interpret and apply the law?
You follow the law as written. It may take some investigation as to what the reason the legislature enacted that law, and then you be fair and give each side an opportunity to express why they should win. Fairness and consideration are really important.
Let's repeat the question for Mr. Skis.
Mr. Skis.
Yes, we don't want him upset.
good.
He's gonna-
Wasn't
he-
420 like
he's
this
gonna
weekend?
Get even
Did you
with
take
me.
advantage of the sales?
I didn't-
Oh, good,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, the question is, can you explain your judicial philosophy? In other words, how you interpret and apply the law?
Absolutely. So the law is the law, the Constitution is the law of the land. We do have our NRS statutes, which I personally wrote, 119 of them that are passed and into law in the state of Nevada, not California. And so we interpret the law by the evidence that is presented to us by the public defender and the district attorney. But I will tell you, as a justice of the peace, what weighs most with me and my adjudications is listening very, very carefully to each and every defendant and what happened, why did it happen, and then the evidence presented by the DA. And if it's bad, the defendant walks. And if it's good, well, then we talk about sentencing.
The case should not be decided by what the attorneys say the law is. That requires the justice of the peace to do his or her own research and know what the law is, and then see if the facts presented by the attorneys fit within that law.
Listen, I practice every day, so, you know, what he's saying is guessing. What I'm telling you is facts of the daily routine.
Are you good, Ski?
Are we good?
Are we okay? Okay.
Okay. We have questions from the audience, one for you and one for you.
Make sure that they are appropriate and, you know.
I checked.
Okay, all right, because she's a fair civil mom.
All right, Michelle, this question is, what public office positions have you held?
I have been an assemblywoman. I have been the Republican National Committee woman and worked with the former president for 4 years personally. I have been the city councilwoman, the mayor pro tem, and now your judge. So for 12 years, I've done nothing but be a public servant, as well as a mother, a grandmother, and a CEO of many companies. I have a little bit of energy.
All right. Mr. Thomas, this is from the audience. How do you explain why North Las Vegas, and Henderson Justice Courts have veteran court, and you do not think Pahrump Justice Court would work for the veterans?
That's not what I said. That is, my experience has been that to be effective, these courts need more horsepower than the Justice Court can provide. I was working in what we call a therapeutic courts for 2 years. I am familiar with what the national standard on rehabilitation is. And that national standard is not complied with here in Nye County, much to my pain, because I think we would have fewer drug, alcohol, and domestic violence cases and better veteran services if the courts would follow the national standard.
So there ain't nothing national about Pahrump. I'm just going to tell you that right now. We are one of a kind, and we are our own kind. And I'm not bringing national anything into this county. We are Nye County, this is Pahrump, and I ain't following that.
Okay.
Or you just got a
Oh, go ahead.
Is that okay, Ski?
You know what, on seriousness, finish him, then we need to talk real quick.
Oh.
The National Council on Drug Rehabilitation has researched what is effective, what works and what doesn't work. And Ms. Fiore has just indicated to you, she also wants Nye County to secede from our nation by going their own way. And that's not where I'm coming from.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. But I do not have a 501c3 collecting fraudulent money from people, making pretend we're going to become New Nevada. So I do not want to succeed. So let's not get confused.
It's 501c4 and educational.
That's fabulous. So you take money.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay.
We're getting a little bit carried away now.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I.
I like that.
All right, this
Take
is,
like a 10-second break.
Yeah, they get rebuttal. Because hers was about the job. Hers was about her job.
okay. All right, this is
Hi home.
your final question.
Thank you so much.
We just want to clarify that. Michelle's question was about her job history, so that's why Thomas didn't have a rebuttal about Michelle's job history.
They wanted to know what.
I don't think he has a job history in Nevada.
No. When Michelle's question was
I think it's from
directed,
California.
when Michelle's direct question was about her job history,
Yeah.
we didn't allow Thomas to have a rebuttal on that, and it's because it was directly
To you.
a question about Michelle's job history.
Yeah.
And so that is why. But we did actually have the next question directed to Thomas,
Correct.
which was a question that she could have rebutted on. So is there any other questions for both of these candidates?
No.
All right, I think we're done. Is there anything else? We're going to have a 1-minute closing.
Wait, we got one more question.
Oh, I just asked you that.
I thought-
I guess I just caught Karen Jackson on the line. Everybody please take note of that. Okay, thank you.
I thought you meant individual question.
Any question?
All right. I see this is going well.
You two are fabulous.
All right. We'll start with you, Mr. Thomas. Tell me why I should vote for you.
I'm the best qualified candidate. I stopped counting jury trials at 225 in 1982 and continued them until I retired in 2015. I have been in 2 different DA's offices. I've been a public defender. I have been a civil litigator. I have been an advocate in the therapeutic courts. I am the only person in the room admitted to the United States Supreme Court bar. I have seen a lot, and I can bring a lot to Nye County.
Same question.
Tell me why I should vote for you.
Well, because I've served Nevada for 12 years. I am your Justice of the Peace. I have been here for 33 years. I've had many jobs here and companies here for 33 years. I'm not going to California my Nevada. And, you know, when you look at credentials, how does it pertain to here in Nevada, Pahrump, Nye County? And I think I am the best person for this job because it's my job today and I'm doing well at it and I love it and I love the people of Pahrump and I'm here to stay.
What about it?
I also love the people of Pahrump. Otherwise, I would not have settled here. I have been involved in advocating for Pahrump residents for the last 7 years. There's been a lot of aspersions about California. I am a California and Nevada, a California and Oregon attorney.
Not Nevada, right?
I am not an attorney in Nevada, but neither are you.
Thank you. But I am the judge here, sir. And you are not.
All right, let's keep it under control, folks.
Thank you. Are we ready for my rebuttal?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
It's all right with you.
So, listen, I'm your judge. I've worked hard. I have 3 opponent males. When it comes to fighting for Nevadans, where were these 3 when I was fighting the federal government for the Cowboys in Mesquite or Bunkerville? Where were they? Nowhere to be found. Where are they when the tough fights happen? I'm on the front lines with Nevadans, okay, because I am a Nevadan. For the 7 years he's talking about succeeding from our republic and becoming its own, you know, from our union and becoming its own republic. I'm sorry, I'm the best qualified. I am Nevada, I'm your Nevada, and I'm your judge. So please vote for me because I fight for you.
All right, and then that's it. And then 1 minute wrap up. 1 minute wrap up.
1 minute wrap up?
I think a 1-minute wrap up at the end.
Yeah, but that's what we just did.
She asked why they should vote. It's pretty much the same. They can give their website and all their information.
Give them a minute, and there's no vote. They talk, and it's all over.
All right, let's do a wrap up. You guys can give all of your information of how people can contact you and whatever you'd like to say. You get 1 minute each. All right, here we go.
Again, my name is Robert E. Thomas III. My website is electrt, not RT, but the letters R and T. electrt.com. You can email me at robert@rt.com, and my phone number is on my sign, 775-419-8949. I have to look at my sign because I don't call myself.
Thank you so much. So I am Michelle Fiore, your Justice of the Peace. You can email me, you can go to my website at Vote Fiore, and Fiore is Italian, it means flower because I'm such a delicate flower. So it's F-I-O-R-E, so it's Vote Fiore, VOTEFIORE.com. You can email me through there. I'm also having a meet and greet at the Artesian Cellars Tuesday, April 30th from 5:30 to 7:30. Please come and have pasta and wine on me. Many elected officials will be there to greet you as well. I work hard, I am your judge, and I love you all.
All right, thank you. Thank you, candidate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Steve. You just keep yelling at me.
Let's see.
Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay, yes, I'm done posting.